There's a lot of different examples in this video, so if you're working on your homework, I wouldn't just try to sit here and listen to the whole thing all at once. Try to find an example that's similar to the one you're working on. Then I can hopefully help you out through this video. So the first one at the top here, the sum of a number and 8 is 12. So we know how to make the sum. That means we're adding. A number means we don't know what number they're talking about, so you can give it a letter. We usually call it X, but you could say P, whatever you want. So the sum of a number and 8 is means equals. There's 12. We're asked to find the number, so we just need to solve this equation. If you subtract 8 from both sides, you get X is 4. So the sum of 3 times a number. So here is 3 times some number that we don't know. And we're summing that with the number 8. And then the word is means equals. And here's 23. Okay, so translate the sentence into an equation. Here's the sum, it's plus. 3 times the number, that means 3 times x. And 8 is means equals. Put 23 in there. So subtract 8 from both sides. 23 minus 8. So we get 15. Divide 3 from both sides because that's 3 times x right now. So x is going to be 5. So this is the difference of twice a number. Difference means subtract. There's twice a number and 7. That's the difference between twice a number and 7. Is means equals. There's 17. So you can add 7 to both sides. So 2x equals 24. And then we're trying to get x by itself. So divide 2 from both sides. 3 times the sum. Now this one is a little tricky. If you see 3 times the sum, it means you need to multiply 3 to whatever the sum ends up being. So you've got to put a parentheses in here. We don't know what the sum of a number and 9 is yet. Okay? So we're multiplying 3 times whatever that sum of a number and 9 is. Okay? So this is 3 times the sum of a number 9. The word equals the word is equals. I just said that backwards. So you could use the distributive property. You could multiply 3 to both numbers inside. Subtract 27 from both sides. So we get negative 15. And then just like the last one, divide both sides by that coefficient of x. So x is negative 5. One number is 6 more than the other number. There's 2 different numbers here. Okay? So there's a number x, and then there's another number y. Two things that we don't know, so we need 2 letters to represent that. And so one of the numbers is 6 more than the other number. That's how you can write that sentence into a kind of a mini equation there. And you might be wondering, why did I have to do that with y? You don't have to do it with just y. Here's a number. It's 6 more than another number. Okay? It'll still give you the same answer for x and y. The numbers will just be switched into place. But right now they're numbers that we don't know, so it doesn't matter which one you say is which. So we'll just stick with this one. A number is 6 more than the other number. Their sum is 42. So the number x plus the number y, the sum of these 2 numbers that I don't know, is 42. And so there's 2 letters in an equation. If that happens, that's an equation you can't solve. Okay? You can't get it down to one answer. But what we can do instead is, instead of writing y, I can replace it with what y is. Y is 6 plus x. So see that replacement that just happened? You can even color code it. This is y. It is 6 plus x. So I replaced y with 6 plus x. And now that's an equation we can solve. X plus x makes 2x. We can subtract 6 from both sides. And then you can divide 2 from both sides. And that's our answer for this one. Okay, so hang on there. If you haven't seen your question yet in homework, we got a bunch more we can do. And again, I encourage you to skip around. You don't just have to listen to me talk if you already know how to do some of these. The sum of two numbers is negative 316. We don't know what the two numbers are, so they're different. We'll give one the letter X, and we'll give one the letter Y. Okay? The sum of two numbers, that's X plus Y. That's the sum of two numbers that I don't yet know. Is means equals. We put negative 316 in there. And then one of the numbers is 94 less than the other number. You could have said y equals x minus 94. That's the same thing. But that's how we can write one number is 94 less than the other one. We take the 94 away from y. It's got to be written like that, not 94 minus y. That won't give you the right answer. So we're going to use the same thing that we just did in the last problem. Look, this is what x is. So instead of the letter x, I'm going to put y minus 94 in its place. Okay, and now we have an equation we can solve. Y plus y, they're already on the same side of the equation, so that makes 2y. And then I'm trying to get y by itself, so let's add 94 to both sides. So 2y is going to equal, handy dandy calculator, 316, it's negative, plus 94, that makes negative 222. And then to finish getting y by itself, we divide both sides by 2. So y is negative 111. That's one of the numbers. We're supposed to find both of them though. Okay, so that's what y is. You can just plug this into the formula to find out what x is. So x is going to be negative 111 subtracted by 94. So negative 205 is one of the numbers, negative 111 is the other one. And it's really easy to check your work because it says the sum of the two numbers should equal negative 316, which it does. And then one number should be 94 less than the other number. Oh, I forgot what my other answer was. I deleted it already. So negative 205, it is negative 111 less than 94. Okay, and I know that'll take some getting used to. If you're stuck on your problem that you're working on, you can message me and I'll get back to you pretty quickly with a response to help you out, okay? Because I know we're getting into the toughest material of the course, translating from word problems into equations. So one number that I don't know, that's an x. Is means equals. 14 less than another number. Remember, the order matters with subtraction. If you need to make something 14 less than something else, it's got to be written in this order. If their sum, meaning the sum of the two numbers that I don't know, is increased by 17. So here's their sum. Here's how I increase their sum by 17. Oh, sorry, by 7. I can't read. If their sum is increased by 7, the result is 85. So here's the big equation that we want to solve if we can. We know what x is based on what I wrote over here. X is y minus 14. So we're going to replace this x with y minus 14. Okay, so in order to solve the equation, the y's are already on the same side. Y plus y makes 2y. And then you got negative 14 plus 7. If you use your calculator carefully, you should get negative 7 there. And then we know how to take the equation from here, from previous work, right? Add 7 to both sides. Then divide both sides by 2. So there's one of our numbers. The other number is just found by plugging that back in. So we got 32 for one of the numbers, 46 for the other one. Here's another similar one. Actually, that's really similar. The sum of two numbers I guess this is a little different than the one up above, so I'll do this one. The sum of two numbers that I don't know, is 14. One number is, and you could have put a y here, it doesn't matter, because right now we don't know either one of them. One number is 2 less than 3 times the other one. So here's 3 times the other number, and that's how you make it 2 less than 3 times the other number. You've got to put the minus 2 after the 3 times y, like we've been saying in those other ones, okay? And so now this one, like if you try to plug something over here into over here, it doesn't quite work because you don't just have like x by itself over here. This one, we have what x is by itself in actually the second equation that we wrote. X is 3y minus 2. So instead of x over here, I'm going to write 3y minus 2. And then that's an equation we can solve from what we've done before. Combine the y's. Add 2 to both sides. So y is going to be 4 when you divide both sides by 4. Now this is the first time we've encountered this word in this class, consecutive. Consecutive means the next one, okay? So if you have a number, and like the number 14, its next consecutive number is 15, because it's the one that comes after it when you line up the integers from least to greatest. Right, so 22, its consecutive number is 23. So the sum of 2 consecutive integers, what we do is we don't know either one of them. We're going to call the first one x, and then the sum of 2 consecutive integers, this represents the next consecutive integer. Okay? Here's a number, here's its consecutive integer. So this is the sum of 2 consecutive integers. Is means equals. So just a quick little equation there. X plus x makes 2x. Subtract 1 from both sides. Divide both sides by 2. There we go. Oh, that's one of them. Sorry, that's x. The next consecutive integer would be the next one up. 39, okay? Now watch out if you have negative numbers, okay? Like if you're doing this and it's supposed to equal a negative number, you might get x equals negative 42. Negative 43 is not the next consecutive integer. Negative 41 is. Remember, because in the negative world, everything's kind of reversed. If you were to add negative 42 by 1, it makes negative 41, not negative 43. So watch out if you have negative numbers. Find 3 consecutive even integers. So this is the first time in this class we've dealt with even integers. Even, here's how we can write even numbers. It's 2 times x. Okay, think about that expression 2 times x. Any number you plug in for x, whether it's odd or even, as long as it's an integer, it will turn out to be an even number, because if you multiply it by 2, it warps it into even land. Like 1 times 2 is 2, 2 is an even number. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 is an even number. 2 times 3 is 6, 6 is an even number. So it doesn't matter what you plug in for x, this will always be even. In case you have one that involves odd, odd is 2x plus 1. And again, test that. If you plug in 1 in for x, you get out 3 in this expression. If you plug 2 in for x, you get out 5. If you plug in 3 in for x, you get out 7. Okay, so to find 3 consecutive even integers, here's the first even integer. This is the next even integer. Look, I'm adding by 2. I didn't do plus 1 like we did up here, because if I did plus 1, that fits the definition of an odd number. We're supposed to find 3 consecutive even integers whose sum, and I've already been adding them up, whose sum is 258. Okay, here's an even number. Here's the next even number. Here's the next even number after that. Those are 3 consecutive even integers. So I'll solve this real quick, but this is, if you've been going along with the book, that's x equals 42. So that doesn't tell you what the even number is. You've got to plug that back in for x here. 2 times 42 makes 84. That's our first even number. 86 is the next one, and 88 is the last one. Okay, so careful if you solve for x. You still got a little more work to do. 84 plus 86 plus 88. 258 checks out. They're even numbers, they're consecutive, and they add up to make 258.